Alright, I think I'm live. I should be. Alright. Okay, I'm live. Hello. I'm Josh, also known as JoshTheSparky, if you can't tell by now. If you don't know already, if you haven't been following my website or been following my pages, any of my social medias, I'm going through some code questions today. 10 brain buster questions, what I call brain busters. They're just code questions, about 10 of them in a packet form. And we are going, sorry, I'm distracted. I'm seeing a bunch of stuff pop up on my phone. But yeah, we're going to go through some code questions today. About 10 of them. A lot of them, all 10 are from fast track system forms. You can go to NECChat.com, sign up for free there with an email, and you can answer these questions yourself and see all of them. So if you want to go and answer them yourself, you can. But we're going to be going through all of them. Give everyone a few seconds to join in if they need to. And then we'll get into it. I started a little bit early. I just wanted to make sure I could figure out how to go live and everything. My setup's kind of jank right now. I would like to show you the actual code question on screen from the site, but I don't have that set up right now. I got to do that on my computer. I got to download certain apps and then set that up, but that'll all come time. But right now, if you want to go answer these questions yourself, you can, NECChat.com, or on my website, I got a question of the week finder. You can just search in whatever date, and it'll give you that date of the question of the week I put up on NECChat, and you can go and answer the brain buster. Alright, got about 2 minutes before we start. I will record this, so then I can upload the replay. Alright, set up the recording. And then we will be good to go and answer some questions. If you guys have any questions you want to send me to make a question of the week on, you can send me. It's request@joshthesparky.com. You can email me your question, and I'll turn it into a question of the week. And then eventually the question of the weeks get turned into brain busters. And that's what I make my little questionnaire packets out of. So we'll be getting into that 1 minute before I'll start here. Okay. We're going to get into it. So first question, let me pop open NFPA link. That's what I'm going to be using. 2026 NEC, National Electrical Code. Sorry, I'm doing this awkward movement so I can get over to my desk and use my screen. Alright. Okay. We're good to go. You good to go? Because I'm good to go. Alright, great. So, brain buster number 1. We got a 5 horsepower, 230 volt single phase motor. It's rated for continuous duty and has a service factor of 1.15. The motor nameplate indicates a full load current of 22 amperes. The branch circuit conductors are copper THHN, and the terminals are rated 75 degrees Celsius. What are the minimum branch circuit conductor size and the minimum initial overload setting permitted under 430.32A1? Kind of gives us a big hint there. And I'm not there's hints on the site. I'm not going to read off the hints just to give it a little bit of a challenge. Welcome everyone. Anyone who's joining, welcome. I can't tell if people are joining or asking to join. I don't know how it works, but I'm just doing my thing. Anyways, we got we got multiple choices we can go off of. We got A, B, C, and D, just like an exam style question. If you're an exam, that's kind of what you'll have as a layout. And obviously in an exam setting, you'll be trying to do these in under a minute or two. You'll just be spamming through them and then saving any one that you can't do until the end of the exam, right? That's what a lot of people are teaching you, and that's how you're going to do it. But for when you want to study it, you want to take your time and break it down and go through it, not in a rush. You want to kind of digest what you're talking about and what you're reading. So I'm not going to spam through this and just pick. Can I view comments? I'm so distracted. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, we got multiple answers to go off of. So I'm going to start reading those off. So a 5 horsepower 230 volt single phase motor is rated for continuous duty and has a service factor of 1.15. Motor nameplate indicates a full load current 22 amps. Branch circuit conductors copper THHN. Terminals rated 75 degrees Celsius. What is the minimum branch circuit conductor size and the maximum initial overload setting permitted under 430.32a? So let's go to that first. We'll just go to that. 430.32a1. Chapter 4, we'll go to Article 430. So motor circuits, motor controls, and we'll go to 32a1. My link is all messed up. All my articles are all disorganized. Welcome anyone joining. If you're just joining in, we're going through some code questions right now. You can get these code questions NECChat.com or joshthesparky.com/brainbusters. And there's a dash in busters. And we're doing question number 1 right now. All right. So we got A, number 12, American wire gauge, AWG. CU, which is copper, THHN, and 25.3 amps for the overload setting. Or we got B, which is 10 gauge, copper, THHN, 27.5 amps. Then we have C, 10 gauge, copper, THHN, 35 amps. 8 gauge for D, copper, THHN, and 27.5 amps. All right. 5 horsepower 230 volt single phase motor rated for continuous duty and has a service factor of 1.15. All right. Full load current of 22 amps. And the terminals are rated for 75 degrees C. All right. Now we're in 430.32. I said all right about 8 times there. So immediately when I open up 430.32, say it 5 times fast. We got A, more than 1 horsepower. Each motor used in a continuous duty application and rated more than 1 horsepower shall be protected against overload by one of the means in 430.32a1 through 430.a4. 430.32a4. All right. I don't know why I keep saying all right. Like you can agree with me. Like you can talk back. You can't. You can't talk back. So underneath 430.32 continuous duty motors, we got these little sub-articles, subsections. The young electrician, I forgot what he called it, but he had a great breakdown on his channel. You can go to his YouTube channel, The Young Electrician. And he breaks down the NEC really nice, and he tells you the different meanings. You'll hear sub-articles, sub-pages, subsections, and it's just sub-articles or articles or section and subsection. Anyways, we got one separate overload device, a separate overload device that is responsive to motor current. This device shall be selected to trip or shall be rated at no more than the following % of the motor nameplate full load current. And we got a little table here. We got motors with a marked service factor of 1.15 or greater, and that's what's in our question. $4,000 to the first person to message me with God is good. That's good. All right. Motors with Mark's temperature rise of 40 degrees or less is 125% full load rating. All right. And we got all other motors at 1.15 or 115%. Modifications of this value shall be permitted as provided in 430.32c for a multi-speed motor. Each winding connection shall be considered separately, where a separate motor overload device is connected so that it does not carry total current, designated on the motor nameplate, such as for Y delta starting at the proper percentage of nameplate current applying to the selection of, or setting of the motor load overload device shall be clearly designated on the equipment, or the manufacturer's selection table shall take this into account. We got an informational note. That's 460.11. We're just going to move past that. It's just power factor correction for capacitors. Not really anything to do with our question. Again, this question is only asking what is the minimum branch circuit conductor and size and the maximum initial overload setting permitted under 430.32a1. So we shouldn't have to read more than 432.a1. It's already given us that that's what we're reading. It basically gave us what it looked in the code book for us. We don't got to really look anywhere. We just got to kind of do the little math here involved. All right. I don't know why I keep saying all right. Like you can agree. Like I'm having a conversation. A 5 horsepower 230 volt. So we got to figure out continuous duty, and as a service factor of 1.15, the motor nameplate indicates a full load current of 22 amperes. All right. I don't have my calculator. We're going to use my computer calculator. I usually use my phone as a calculator. My calculator's out in my car because I use that at work. But this is what we'll do. Okay, we're going to also open up some ampacity tables here because we got wire gauges. Seen a lot of wire gauges, so we're going to also open up the ampacity tables. Do what Thomas Dimitrovich does, middle click, and you can open up another tab while having another tab already open. Pretty fancy while using NFPA link. Alright, let me see. I know my phone's getting a real good shot of my head right now, but that's fine. We are looking in our code book. Again, 430.32a1. What are the minimum branch circuit conductor size and the maximum initial overload setting permitted under 430.32a1. 5 horsepower, 230 volt single phase motor, continuous duty, service factor of 1.15. The motor nameplate indicates a full load current of 22 amps. Branch circuit conductors are copper THHN and the terminals are rated 75 degrees Celsius. And I will read off the hint now, all right? Hint, don't use the motor nameplate current alone to size the branch circuit conductors. All right. Once again, we got A, B, and C. We got 12 gauge copper THHN and 25.3 amps. We got B, 10 gauge copper THHN, 27.5 amps. C, 10 gauge copper THHN and 35 amps. D, 8 gauge copper THHN and 27.5 amps. Welcome anyone joining. I've seen a lot of joins. I don't know where you guys are joining from or where you're going, but welcome. We're breaking down Brain Busters, code questions, NEC 2026 is what we are using, okay? And you can get these questions every week, every Friday, NECChat.com, and you can sign up for free with an email. That's all you need. You don't got to pay for anything to answer or to participate in the questions. There's also a free ampacities course on there where you can learn the ampacities table of the 2026 NEC, National Electrical Code. Okay. So, continuous duty motor. What is continuous duty? What is continuous duty? I just want to see if there's a definition on continuous duty real quick. I believe there is. Move you a little bit closer to me. Well, I'm hunched over. Continuous duty. We're looking in definitions. We're going to go down to C's. Continuous duty, conduit, connector, control, continuous load. Don't got nothing that says continuous duty. Interesting. So we got continuous load, but that's not continuous duty. Continuous load, a load where the maximum current is expected to continue for 3 hours or more. All right, we know that. But that's not continuous duty. 430.32 is talking about continuous duty, so we can't really go figure out what the definition of continuous duty is. I lost my page now. That's the only problem with using like online codebook NFPA link to study, is that the site kind of sucks. That's no disrespect to NFPA or anything, but it's just like, it's just infinite scrolling, which isn't bad, but just annoying when you lose your spot. Alright, so we're in continuous duty motors, 430.32A1. It's what this brain buster number 1 question is telling us to go to. And it gives us a lot of info already. Just trying to see what else I need open here. Alright. So we're going to do what the continuous duty motors 430.32A section says. More than 1 horsepower, more than 1 horsepower, each motor used in a continuous duty application and rated more than 1 horsepower shall be protected against overload by one of the means in 430.32A1 through 432.A4. Alright, so this question is only asking for 432.A1. It doesn't say anything about 432.A4 or anything like that, so I'm not even going to explore further than 430.32A1. Say it 5 times fast, I dare you. Alright. So the first thing that sticks out to me is motors with a marked service factor of 1.15 or greater is calculated at 125%, right? A separate overload device that is responsive to motor current. This device shall be selected to trip or shall be rated at no more than the following % of the motor nameplate full load current rating, right? Motors marked with a service factor of 1.15 or greater. And this question is talking about a 5 horsepower, 230 volt single phase motor is rated for continuous duty and has a service factor of 1.15, right? So we are going to need to open up our table here for single phase AC motors as well as the ampacities table for reference. 310.16, most popular table in the NEC. Hello everyone joining, good morning. Once again, doing some code question breakdowns, NEC code questions, brain busters I like to call them. You can get them NECChat.com, or you can get a search engine to search for questions on joshthesparky.com/brain-busters. Little dash. Okay. Waiting for my NFPA to load. All right, cool. We got 316 open. We got 430.248, 430.248 open for single phase AC motors. Now this motor is 5 horsepower, 230 volt. So we're going to go look at this table. We go by horsepower. We see 5. We go through, look over on the side, scroll along. We see 115 volts. See 200 volts. Again, this is 430.248 table, single phase AC motors. 200 volts we see, which is 32.2 amps. We see 208 volts, 30.8 amps. And now we see 230 volts is 28 amps for 5 horsepower. So I'm going to write this down on my notes. So I'm just going to, we know 5 horsepower equals 28 amps at 230 volts, right? Okay. And now we know this is to be from 430.32. We know motors marked with a service factor of 1.15 or greater, which this is. We know it needs to be rated at 125%, 125%. So I'm going to write that down, 1.15. At 125%. All right. So I got some details written down here, and now we are going to go ahead and open up our calculator. Use your phone, use your computer, handheld calculator, whatever you want. Just calculate it. Maybe you can even do it in your head. If you can, that's good for you. You're going to be a good electrician if you can do math in your head. All right, so I just took 28 and I times it by 1.25, right? How do we know? How do we know if that's the right track or not? How do we know? Okay, we're going to take 35, do 0.8, 35.8, 28, that's just the inverse of 125. And I just want to check one thing. Let's take, where would 28 go if we just did 1.15? If we ignored the 125%, 32.2. And we know that's not an answer, because we only have 25.3, 27.5, 35, 27.5. All right? I'm going to go with our 35. We know 22 times, let's do it again, make sure I got it right. 22 times 1.25. Ooh, I got a different answer. 27.5. All right. So how did I mess that one up? Let's see. What did I do? I think I put 28. I did. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So we take 22, times it by, remember, I'm still learning too, guys. Times it by 1.25, right? Under 430.32A1. We see motors marked with service factor 1.15 or greater. And we already know temperature rating, because it says, we also see another thing that says motors marked with temperature rise 40 degrees or less. We don't have to do anything there because the temperatures are rated 75 degrees. Motors with a marked temperature rise of 40 degrees or less, 125%. Motors with a marked service factor of 1.15 or greater, 125%. Okay. Yeah, I think we're on the right track here. So we're going to take our 22, we're going to times it by 1.25. That's going to give us 27.5. If you're following along, again, NECChat.com. This is the most recent question of the week. Brainbuster number 1, JoshTheSparky.com, brain-busters, and you can see the Brainbuster packet we're doing right now. All right? And you can do it along with me and call me out if I'm getting something wrong, because I'm trying to learn as well. I do this on purpose so I can learn. It makes me have to do better. So I got 27.5, 27.5 amps, okay? Now, the next thing is figuring out this wire gauge, because we got 12, 10, 10, and 8, and we can factor out the 25.3 and the 35 amp 10 gauge and 12 gauge A and B answers, right? Because we got 27.5 amps and we only see 2 answers, B and D, with 27.5 amps. So it's either going to be this 10 gauge copper or this 8 gauge copper THHN conductor. All right. So let's continue. We are going to now open up my ampasses table here, or NFPA links ampasses table for the NEC. Hey, Paul Abernathy. Hello. How do I add you as a moderator or something? How do I add you as, like... give you like a special role or something? Alright. How are you doing, Paul? If you guys don't know Paul Abernathy, he's my online teacher, okay? He runs Fast Track System. Go and give him a follow. Go check out his courses. Yeah, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate the time. We're just going through some brainbuster questions from NECChat.com, from Question of the Weeks. I took every question of the week I did and put them in a little packet. And that's what we're going through today. Thought I'd get in some public speaking as well. So right now we're getting through this 5 horsepower, 230 volt single phase motor question for continuous duty. Once again, service factor was 1.15 and the motor nameplate indicates a full load current of 22 amps. So we took that, we went to 430.32A, which is listed in the question, and we times that 22 amps by 1.25%, and we got 27.5 amps. And now we're just trying to decipher some of the question answers. Yes, sir. I agree. Tomorrow's leaders matter today. Train them right. 100%. All right. So now we got to figure out whether this 27.5 amps is the 10 gauge or 8 gauge copper. We already know it's copper. It has CU in the question answers. And we know it's THHN, so we're going to be looking in the THHN section. And we know the terminals are rated 75 degrees, so we know for a fact it's in that column. Don't say that. I will do my best to try to keep it going. I want to keep it going. But people like you is what makes me want to keep it going, because I got good people to learn from and go off of, so... Okay, so we're going to go off of what this question answer already gave us. We're going to check this 10 gauge copper THHN 27.5 amp. So let's scroll around, see 10 gauge, and can already, 10 gauge, we got 35 amps. And we got 8 gauge, which is 50 amps. Am I looking in the right one? No, I'm not. See, this is where you got to be careful with the tables. I'm not looking in the right one. I was looking in 75 degree. But this is THHN. And the terminals are rated 75 degree. All right. So let's see. Branch circuit or copper, THHN, and the terminals are rated 75 degrees C, Celsius. THHN, 75 degree column. We see the types are RHW, THHW, THW, THWN, XHHW, XHWN.